everybody, we're back with a brand new Cabral HouseCall. This is the weekend edition of the Cabral Concepts. This is episode 3225. So if you want to follow along with what the community has written in this week for questions, head on over to stephencabral.com/3235. We're going to dive right into the questions because right now, I know that there's a lot of people waiting in the queue. We do try to get to 10 to 12 every single weekend, Saturdays and Sundays. So love being able to answer your questions. Let's get right to it. First question is from Danny. Danny asks, hi, Dr. Cabral. First, thank you for everything you do. You've helped me really understand my own body and have equipped me with the knowledge and insight into my own health and try to provide the best help for my family and friends. Amazing, Danny. Thanks so much for letting me know that, because that's really what it's all about. First, you learn for yourself. You're able to help yourself. You get the energy, the vitality that you really need to also then have more in your cup to be able to pour out. That's really what it's about. So Danny's question is, my question is regarding my 3-year-old son. He has what I believe to be eczema and is quite stubborn. I don't know if that's supposed to say it is quite stubborn or it says he is quite stubborn. Let's see. I have listened to previous podcasts regarding eczema, and I know you've said it usually stems from a food allergy. I've tried eliminating the food main groups in his diet, such as dairy, eggs, gluten, and soy. It may have helped improve slightly, but it does not seem to ever clear it up. Could it also be a reaction to chlorinated tap water? Any help would be appreciated. I would also like to know what I can apply topically for temporary relief. Many thanks. Okay, so great question. And yes, the majority of the time in our practice, remember, it's not a food allergy, but a food sensitivity. So the main ones that we see that you should eliminate for 3 to 4 weeks. Again, I can't provide you with any medical advice, medical treatment plans, medical cures, medical diagnosis, but we do typically recommend removing all dairy, all eggs, and all gluten. And then other factors for some individuals are corn or soy, sometimes even fish. So it really just depends on the individual, but we just do those kind of big 3. Hopefully people aren't eating too much soy, especially, 3-year-olds. You never know, like it's possible, but we do always try to recommend removing the dairy, the eggs, the gluten. And then whenever we need to, we'll go on a more strict diet, but only if needed, because as you said, it can be other things beyond food. So in general, there could be some type of gut-based issue, candida overgrowth. Maybe they took antibiotics when they were very young, even younger than 3 years old. There might be some bacterial issues that we need to clear up. So we can always test that with what's called the Candida metabolic and vitamins test as needed. But also it could just be a rash from something topical. So it could be a laundry detergent that you're using. It could be the chlorinated tap water. It could be a 3-year-old. It could be anything that they're coming in contact with, honestly, but it's just mostly environmental based toxins. Like chlorine can definitely be one of those. And it also, I don't know where it is on your child's body, because sometimes that can be a giveaway as to if it's topical or not. So I know that I'm not able to help as much as I would really love to be able to do. So let's look for the underlying root cause. So in the meantime, what you could do topically, and I'm going to see if I can find some additional shows on eczema, since I have spoken on this quite a few times. We'll often use a oatmeal type bath or a colloidal oatmeal for some individual works really well to help dry it up, an oatmeal based soap whenever you are giving your child a bath. Oftentimes we'll test it. Again, these are very important to test with just small patches on the body. So like a nickel to a quarter size. We might try a little bit of coconut oil. Coconut oil is anti-inflammatory. It's antimicrobial. It is antifungal. So that can be quite helpful. For a child, we might add only one drop of tea tree essential oil to that. And that is antifungal, antimicrobial as well. Sometimes, but not always, we'll use a little ACV as a toner, but if there's any rawness to it, it can burn, so we don't always use that. We can use aloe vera if there's any redness or itchiness or burning that would go on separately from the coconut oil. And then sometimes, again, for healing, we'll use Manuka honey, and Manuka honey can help heal an area as well. Now, for overall, what can you wear during the day? Some type of chamomile-based cream. There's many chamomile creams out there that you could use, and we've used those as well for temporary relief while working on the underlying root cause. All right. So hopefully that was helpful. Thanks so much for writing in. All right, Danny, looks like Danny's up again. Danny says, hi, Dr. Cabral, hope you're well. My wife has very up and down allergies. Some days she will sneeze a few times a day like normal, and other days she'll be sneezing all day with a runny nose and constant sniffles. She always sneezes first thing every morning once we wake up and sniffles. She's recently completed a 14-day detox that did not fix the issue. Could this be an issue with overproduction of histamine or gut-based issue, dust mites? Any advice would be appreciated. Okay. So since, we're not sitting down and actually, talking one-on-one, it's a little challenging because I would say during the 14-day detox, did the symptoms start to get better? And they may have come back after it's over. I totally get that. But if they were better, let's say after the first, 5 days or so, or they at least were 50% lower, then I would say, okay, this could be a food sensitivity she's dealing with. There could be gut issues. Remember, the 7, 14, or 21-day functional medicine detox by Equilife, it is amazing and it sets the stage for healing, but it's not meant to be the thing that just automatically heals the body. What it does is that it helps ramp up phase 1 and phase 2 liver detox. It helps your body clear these toxins faster, but it does not work on specific root causes. It lets you know, are you dramatically emptying your rain barrel? And then the answer is yes for most people, and they start to feel better with weight, with inflammation, with sleep, with hormones. And then it allows you then to say, okay, there is obviously a light at the end of the tunnel. We can work on this. And then you work on your specific protocol for your wife. Now, if you say, no, I didn't get any relief during the detox as well, even though it's on, a very specific nutrition plan and there's intermittent fasting, you're getting a lot of fluids, you're getting all your methylated B vitamins, all these great things, then there is likely an environmental issue here. So likely she may be very sensitive to dust mites or histamines or something being blown out of the ducts, or you could have mold in your house and not know it. So there's just so many things to look at. But the nice thing is I always say there's only about, when I say so many, there's like 10 to 12, right? Maximum. So what do we do for the allergies? We're going to look at environmental based triggers. We're going to test to see if there's mold in the house. And then I would also recommend running the Big 5. And if you can't do the Big 5, at the very least, I would do definitely the Candida metabolic and vitamins test. Second, I would do the food sensitivity test. Third, I would do the minerals and metals test. Then after that, I would do the stress mood and metabolism test. And then the fifth one would be the inflammation test, because you could always use daily omega-3s if you wanted to. So there's so much that we can do. I mean, all of this, like allergies especially, is absolutely able to be overcome. So this is not something that, can't be fixed within typically 12 to 16 weeks. We just need to find the underlying root cause, right? So detox sets the stage, and then we work on whatever these underlying root causes are, because the detox opens up the drainage pathways of the body, namely the liver and kidneys. Okay, let's move on to the next question from Erica. Erica says, Dr. Cabral, longtime listener from Australia, first-time writer. I'm 31 years old. I have a fairly complex history of Epstein-Barr virus, fibromyalgia, it's pudendal neuralgia. Okay, pudendal neuralgia, for those who are not familiar, simply means, I shouldn't say simply, but it means pelvic-based pain, typically affecting the nerves around the pelvis, sometimes caused by childbirth, sometimes by infection, trauma to the area. Okay, and also occipital pain. Okay, so at the start of the year, I was using a Novathor red light therapy bed. I started using it for 20 minutes up to 6 days a week. The improvement in my pain and fatigue symptoms was huge, and I was incredibly happy with the progress. About 2 months ago, about 5 months into using it, I started developing skin sensitivity, mild burning side effects. First on my inner thighs, then in my forearms. I tried decreasing the treatment time, taking longer breaks between treatments, and still experiencing the skin sensitivity afterwards. Do you have any idea what might have caused the change in response? What do you recommend? Thank you. Okay, so some people do get this with red light therapy. Now, you need to be using it a lot or overusing it for a lot of individuals. And it seems like for you, I don't know the Novathor bed particularly, but I'm assuming it's a very strong red light bed. And then what happens is your inner thighs are literally touching the bed when you're lying down on it, and same with your forearms. So it has direct contact. And this could cause, for sure, a sensitivity. So my recommendation, again, I can't give you medical advice, medical diagnosis, treatment plans, or any type of medical in general, but I would give it a little time off, because what you're doing is great. Red light therapy is highly beneficial. It's great for collagen production. It's great as a natural anti-inflammatory. It's great as a mitochondrial booster, and so much more. So there's no doubt about it. I like red light therapy. Yes, no doubt about that. Okay. However, it's still not getting to the root cause of the imbalances with Epstein, the fibromyalgia, et cetera. So my recommendation is to run the Big 5 labs. We ship the Big 5 labs to Australia. There's lots of practitioners in Australia that could get them for you as well. And that's my recommendation, because we need to figure out what's going on. I mean, is there candida overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth in the gut? Is there H. pylori, other parasites? Do you have leaky gut? Do you have food sensitivities that can cause fibromyalgia? Do you have vitamin or mineral deficiencies that can cause fibromyalgia? Do you have a lack of omega-3s, too many omega-6s? What do your hormones look like? Do you have low cortisol, so you're not producing enough of a natural anti-inflammatory? Red light's not going to fix any of those things. So although I'm a proponent of red light, it is not working on the underlying root cause of any of these things. Okay. So big fan of red light, but not working on the underlying root cause. Okay, it's kind of like sauna. I love sauna. Definitely recommend it. Recommend it first, even before red light. But it's not working on the underlying root cause, although it does help to lower toxicity levels for sauna. That's absolutely true. And it helps to improve cardiovascular capacity. So doing a lot of things, but again, not fixing fibromyalgia, but it is helping with then circulation, other things. So for you, you might switch your red light to something like a sauna, but let's get to work on the underlying root cause. You're probably paying a good amount of money for these red light sessions. I would invest now in another place to take your health to that next level. So that's what I would do. And all I can give you is my personal recommendation as to what I would do, especially helping many, many people with Epstein-Barr virus, fibromyalgia. I mean, you have all yours is nervous system based, right? So you've got the fibromyalgia, which affects the neurological system that innervates the muscles and nerves as well. You've got neuralgia with the pelvic pain, and you got occipital pain as well. So it's all pain based. So we need to figure out why the nervous system, right, the nerves are so inflamed, and we can get to work on that right away. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. And again, all the things that we use in our practice is at stephencabral.com/shop. So you can work with us if you'd like to, but you can also go to integrativehealthpractitioner.org and work with a practitioner, and even practitioners over in Australia and New Zealand, which we have many, many practitioners there as well. So not us, but IHPs. Okay. Gabby's up next. Gabby says, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you so much for all of your work in spreading the knowledge around the world. I'm writing as I regularly listen to your podcast. However, I feel unsure where I start my healing from. I do not have any particular health issues, but I would like to stay healthy and fit. I'm also curious, what is your approach to bioresonance therapy? I've had vegetative resonance tests done, which showed that I have high amounts of mercury. I used to eat lots of fish and aluminum in my body. Despite that fact, I use non-aluminum deodorant and do not drink from aluminum cans. It also showed a lot of parasites. Can you let me know your thoughts on bioresonance, and also would like to recommend first starting heavy metal detox or getting rid of parasites? Thanks a lot." Okay, happy to help with this. So it wasn't long ago. It was 4 years ago. I attended the World Medicine Conference in Germany and spoke with many people about bioresonance. I've known about bioresonance since probably 2007-ish area, 2005, 2007. I've used it with some practitioners. The problem is it's so hard to replicate, and it is not. So far, again, I'm a believer in energy-based medicine. So for people who don't know what bioresonance machines are, essentially every cell in the body, every part of the body has its own energetic map, or energetic, let's call it vibration. And by reading certain parts of the body that may be off, it allows this particular machine, which is scanning the body, to tell you what parts of the body may be off and why. So do I believe that this is a real thing? Yes, I do. I do believe that this is a real thing, but it seems very difficult in the industry right now to be able to replicate results. From what I've seen, almost impossible. And it's so difficult for me to say, use this, when it's so easy to test in other ways. So right now, I can't recommend bioresonance therapy because I've yet to see a practitioner. Please show me, if you're a practitioner, replicable results, meaning that I run the test at 1 p.m. on myself, and then at 5 p.m. I run the same exact test, or I run it tomorrow at 1 p.m. And do I get the same exact results? Oftentimes the answer is no. And so if you have parasites one day that show up and it doesn't show up the next, that's not possible. Parasites don't die overnight. I mean, like even taking strong anti-parasitic medicine, there's still going to be some left. So, what about heavy metals? Well, if you have mercury one day, you have mercury the next. You can't get rid of it all at once. It's just not how it works. So again, I want this to be replicable. I want to be able to use this. I think it's amazing. I just don't think we're there yet. Okay, that's what I want to say. I'm not discounting it, just not there yet. So if you want to know if you have heavy metals, then you can just run the minerals and metals test or the complete heavy metals tox test. Like those clinically proven to just show if you have metal in your body. It's because you're excreting it either into hair or you're using a blood spot test from a finger prick or urine. So like there's multiple ways to test for heavy metals that are FDA certified from CLIA labs that are all backed up like this is legitimate. And so, that's what I use because I want to be people's, again, from no ego perspective, but I want to be the last stop on people's healing journey. Like you don't need to keep looking and looking. Let us help you. Let us test what's going on right at home. No, everything's private. Nothing's shared with your doctors or insurance or anything like that. And you do it on your own and you get a practitioner or a plan that comes with it. Same with parasites. You do a bacteria and parasite stool test. If you have parasites, it should show up. Not always. Yes, not always. I agree. But there's no false positives. Like if they find a parasite, they find a parasite. And so we start to work on it. Now, you say, I don't want to do any more testing. Totally get it. We have many people who decide not to test and they do the heavy metal detox protocol every single year. I do it. I test, but I also do a heavy metal detox protocol every year. So do my daughters. So you can find that again at stephencabral.com/shop. Just type in heavy metal detox. Very simple. 3 products, use it for 8 weeks, and you help to detox heavy metals from the body. And again, this is all clinically proven. The next part is parasites. You can do the para support protocol. That one is 8 weeks as well. And you can go to stephencabral.com/shop. Just look it up, para support protocol. But you don't have to you don't have to use our formulas or protocols, but you can at least see exactly what we use. And then you'll find out what the right methodology or right ingredients are for you as well. All right. So hopefully that was helpful. All right. We've got one more question. Do we have one more question today? I think we're at our limit, but 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got to answer one more. All right. Anonymous is up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral and team. I've completed the CBO protocol as well as the parasite protocol, gut sealing protocol, but I have oxalate sensitivity still lingering. It improves when I have dairy. However, I'm very sensitive to dairy due to lectin sensitivity that actually leads to inflammation. I've tried taking calcium citrate, but I don't know if it's working. I've also tried high oxalate veggies like broccoli, but it doesn't seem to be enough. I'm on a low oxalate diet, but I don't want it to be forever. Recently, I tried incorporating goat cheese. However, I react to it since the goats in my area are fed a high lectin diet. There are no A2 cows in my area or sheep. What would you recommend as an alternatives? I'm Pitavada dual constitution, according to my Ayurvedic practitioner. Okay. Yeah, totally understand where you're coming from. And if and I'm sure you did the CBO protocol, you did the parasite, phenomenal, and you want to use the heal and seal as well. So that's a CBO finisher. So please do make sure that you use that. If you didn't, that's a CBO finisher that contains the L-glutamine, zinc, carnosine, the aloe vera, all the things that kind of calm the inflammation in the gut. And you're then using typically the daily probiotic support. All right, so that's going to set the stage. Next, when anyone has high oxalate sensitivities, you typically, not always, but sometimes, we'll put it this way, typically to sometimes, are deficient in magnesium, vitamin B6, and sometimes zinc. So we're making sure we keep those in the diet as well because they help to break down the oxalates. Now, some people overall are just more sensitive to oxalates. So we put them on a lower oxalate diet. Now, it doesn't mean they have to have no oxalates in their diet, but they're just not going to be people that do well with beets or spinach or rhubarb or some of the higher ones. So I have lots of free shows, lots of free podcasts on a low oxalate diet. So please do check that out at stephencabral.com/podcast. And you can always ask and we'll help you find it at cabralsupportgroup.com. Okay, now let's talk about the lectin sensitivity. So You have oxalate sensitivities, you've got lectin sensitivities. It seems like there's a lot of sensitivities in the body. Now, due to that, we also want to look at the whole de-stress protocol. So looking at dieting overall, looking at the detox, looking at intermittent fasting. So there's a period of time of calming gut-based inflammation, but potentially really looking at other things such as nervous system regulation. So meditation, working on sleep, relaxation, walks, sauna. What can we do to help calm, especially since you're Vata Pitta, calm the high nervous system activity of a Vata? Because remember, it's not always just about food, right? That matters, right? And supplements, right? So we look at it, diet, the de-stress protocol: diet, exercise, stress reduction, tox removal, rest, emotion-based balance, right? Very, very important. Scientifically backed supplements, success mindset. So we don't want to just go on what we put in our mouth. And I'm not saying that you're only doing this anonymous, but what we also want to look at are the other factors. Sometimes we need to really lower stress levels in the body in order to be able to calm that inflammation, which might be affecting your digestive tract over and over. So hopefully this was helpful. Really great questions today, complex questions today, but I love it. And I always do my best to help. So hopefully this was helpful today. Of course, if it was helpful, do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve. And I will be back tomorrow answering another 5 to 6 questions from the community. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.